Hello, everyone. How are you today? We have Mr. Gbenga Adenuga on our episode today. Mr. Gbenga Adenuga is a self-motivated, successful Nigerian businessman, gospel singer, and a change advocate. He's the CEO of Ethno Creative, the leading provider of digital visual solutions in Nigeria, and also heads the team at Gap TV Studios. He's a convener of CSBG Africa, that is Creative Solutions for Business Growth, a coaching platform fostering business advancement to groom next-gen policymakers, influencers, politicians, and leaders to rescue Africa. Mr. Gbenga Adenuga is a gospel artist and a worship leader driving the day one worship experience that occurs every first day of a new month. He has a beautiful family with his wife and children. Welcome with me, Mr. Gbenga Adenuga.
I hope you're happy because I'm definitely happy to be here. All right, so welcome to this episode on Parents on a Mission with Titilayo and Rosie. And as you can see, like you have just heard, we have the amazing Mr. Gbenga Adenuga with us. I'm sure you've heard all about him. And before we go right there, please, we have this track to go. Yeah. So are you ready?
Let's go
Ooh. Anything goes. Hey, in your presence, anything goes. It was not replay. I remember in my hostel you
over and over again.
Loud and clear. In the morning when I wake up. Your elder brother. So wow. I know I was always around that. So here we are with Mr. Gbenga Adenuga. So thank you very much for your time. I mean, trying to get Mr. Gbenga Adenuga was
not an easy one.
No, not a walk in the park. But then trust, we're always persistent so that we can bring good content from people that you look forward to hearing from. So like we always mention, Parents on a Mission is not for perfectionists, it's not for professional parents or anyone who has like the best idea whatsoever. We're all learning on this journey and we love to hear everyone's view, experience, and we know, just like we always say, that children differ. I mean, every child is peculiar, and then you can just pick what you feel you need, all right? So, and I really trust God to help us on this episode. So thank you very much,
Thank you, sir,
for having us.
Thank you for your time.
So without wasting your time, I will just hand over to Rosie to go right into our first question.
Yes, thank you so much, sir, for having you on Parents on a Mission with TR. We really appreciate it. We don't take this for granted at all. And let me throw the first question. I would really want to know, when you see an adult doing so well, you want to know what is the kind of, what are the kind of applications that was installed in this adult that made you who you are today? What were those value systems that was installed into you that made you who you are today, sir?
Well, thank you very much, Roslyn. Thank you, Titi. First of all, I want to say that you guys are very persistent, and I respect it. And I am not in any way trying to create a facade of being busy or something. It's just what it is. But I am so happy that you are seeing this through. Thank you very much. So I just put that out there. So your question, I honestly won't. So first, I also want to let you know, anybody that is watching this, that I'm not near perfect, and I'm not saying that because I want to be modest. I'm not at all. Time and again I sleep, I fall, I mess up, and time and again God comes to make my imperfections look perfect. So it is all about what God has been able to make of an imperfect me. I wouldn't be able to say these and that are the things that I grew up with that made me what I am today, but I would say that I'm constantly just groping in some kind of darkness, and but I'm beginning to be very attentive to my life. So I'm listening to myself, I'm watching myself closely, and I'm taking from my successes, and I'm trying to reapply them. One thing is I don't cut corners. That's one thing that I know that my father taught me. But that taught me rather. We don't cut corners. We give everything. Yeah, we give everything our best. My father is a hard guy. He was so very hard on us that we sometimes used to think that it wasn't our father. It was just unnecessarily tough. We grew up going to the farm. So if I told people today that I used to farm, maybe they wouldn't believe, but if they touch my palms, I mean, it's getting softer. They will know that this guy went to the farm. So that gave me the kind of strength and energy that I have to be able to keep going on and not get tired. My parents were not initially, they're Christians, but they're not born again initially.
Okay.
They became born again when my other brother became born again, and then my other brother, brought us all to Christ, and then that impacted on them. But we're Christians. We used to go to church maybe 3 times a year. Christmas, Christmas,
Easter, New Year, crossover service.
That's it. Period.
But we became Christians and things started to change. And our parents saw that we were impacted by Christ. I remember, it was beautiful being born again. I remember my father coming home. I cannot forget that instance. He came home and I've scrubbed the toilet. I have cleaned everything. I became a good child because I became born again. And those are things that impacted my parents about us, about the kids. So so it's a journey. It's a journey. And I also think that one of the things that I'm self-motivated. I know there are a few people around the world that are self-motivated. There are very few people, but I'm self-motivated. My dreams are as real as you. When I dream about something, I believe I've seen it, and I go after it. One truth that I'm beginning to also understand after taking a stock of my life is that you can only break your limits if you have resources. There's no other way. Then you can't surmount anything without resources. So I'm beginning to understand that it is good to go after resources. I want to talk about resources, talk about people, human capital, financial capital, ideas, things that will make your life better, especially finances. And I'm beginning to understand how important it is to get money, because the more money you have, the less limitless you'll be. I'm taking a stock of my life and I'm beginning to understand that. So like I said, I'm very attentive to my journey. I'm asking myself questions. I'm more interested in my destination and not yes, of course, the process is also very important to me, but I don't lose track of my destination. And I'm going to quickly say this: what has happened to us today is that people are so much engrossed with the joy of the platform than the destination. So I'll explain what I mean. Social media is not a destination. It is a place where you want to get people to see something because you want to take them to things. But social media is the eyeballs, right? The eyeballs have become so much of a big deal that people just sit there and they just want the eyeballs. What do you want to do with the people? So people have lost focus by the distraction of the numbers. And so you find that a lot of people are just gathering the people for what reason, and then you now realize that there's a lot of communities are all over the place, not really doing anything. But I don't lose track of my destination, and I also manage the process. The
Thank
process
you
is
very
very
much.
important.
Thank you very much for that answer.
Yes.
I think I was able to pick some of the experiences you had with your dad. You said your dad was a disciplinarian, like he doesn't take no nonsense. No nonsense. And I like the fact that you said no cutting of corners, no shortcuts. Of course, so that means that kind of father, if you go to school and get back with something that doesn't belong to you, is going to be war, right? So if we can have parents like that stand their ground and tell their child, whatever it's worth doing is worth doing well and worth doing right. I think I was able to pick that. Thank you very much for that answer.
Yes,
Titi, over
thank
to
you very much. So I also picked something and I'd like to mention. I picked the place of mercy. So I would like to just go out. I would like to say to the parents out there who feel, I think I'm failing on this parenting journey. I think I don't know what to do. We're not born again. We don't go to church. Where am I going to start from? I want to encourage parents out there who feel I do not know how to go about it. I don't know how to raise godly children. Do I even know what I want to model? I mean, you can just say a sincere prayer right now in your room, and I know God can use you or your children to win you and help you be a better parent. Yes, I think I picked that and it won't leave me. Yes, so I think already that's answering to my first question here, which says, what about your upbringing? Is it a godly one? We can see that it was just mercy who saved the family and helped them to parents. And I picked, he said, self-motivated. So for any child who comes across this video, please, your self-motivation is very, very important. You don't have to be so you don't have to rely on people helping you through anything. God can always help you, and try to be self-motivated. The next one here is, what values do you hold high from your childhood, and how are you applying it right now, or intending to apply it in your parenting journey?
I mean, like I said, one of the biggest things that I run with is, I mean, anything I do, I give it my best. I try my best to, I mean, especially when I do business with people, I try my best. And because I try my best, even when I fail, I leave it to God, because God sees my heart and I've done my best. There are times that your best might not be enough. So, I mean, for instance, I do business today, and I up till now, I do not promote my business because I don't have the capacity to handle it if I promote it. It will be too much for me to do, because we have a lot of referrals because of the way we handle our business.
Integrity.
Yes.
So we don't cut corners. I mean, for instance, there's nothing that can happen if you. I remember I used to sing a lot at events, 15 years ago. I remember a party that I was living in Ibadan, and I was going for that party. There was traffic, and as at 12, we was in the traffic. As at 1, we're in traffic. They left the church, and the reception was about to start. There was no band. The father of the bride called me, and I picked his call, and he was cursing me. He was cursing at me, and I was saying, sorry, sir. I kept moving. They were calling in, I'll pick the call. One thing I've learned is, no matter what, I will always pick the call. I will never ignore people's calls. Especially when there is a demand on my service, right? And then I took my basis, and I took a bike from after Mountain of Fire to Ikeja.
Wow.
Yeah. So we got there, we saw the man. The man was almost going to rush at me. So I called my elder brother, and we planned to move in the equipment for that event to service station. And then some kind of miracle happened. I don't know, my guys said that the truck was ready at the venue. We got to the venue, of course, all the brides people, the bridal train. They carried the speaker with us upstairs. It was at All Seasons Plaza. And in about 30 minutes, we started to jam, and even the baba that was cursing at me was paying me dollars. My point is this: one of the values that I live with is I try my best to do the best I can, especially when it is business. You can always count on me for that. Even for my own events, so if you come for my event, if you attend my own events, I give the best tweets. And one thing I learned years ago that God said to me is, so we have a concert and we set up everything, stage lights, sound, lights, everything, and I used to climb, get a backdrop done. I used to do a lot of work, very physical. And God said to me, Gbenga, your worship is all this that you're doing. By the time people come to sing, your worship is done. Really, the excellence you're putting to your business is your worship. The money you're spending, the effort you're making it look and feel right is your worship. And I've accepted it. Even before they come, they've come to worship, but you've given me worship. And so because of that, the work I do today, I learned it by running my concerts. I do event planning. I've done event planning for federal governments. I did 99% of events that happened in Jonathan's regime at the Villa. I didn't go to school for it. I learned excellence by running my concerts. So that is one thing that you can always count on me for. I would always give my best. I also can't cheat. I don't know how to take what does not belong to me. I mean, I have been scammed once. It's difficult to scam me because I don't want to cut corners. I don't want too much profit.
You don't want sharp.
Exactly. All those MMM things, I never did it. It's impossible for me to do it. I don't want business I don't understand, that does not involve
process.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
All my friends did MMM, and there's no way I can put my money into it. And it's not
Fast money.
It's not possible for me to do. Those are things that I learned. I don't want fast money. I don't want shortcuts. I got a new supplier for my business, and this guy was telling me that it's real, but it was up to half the price less than others.
Whoa.
I can't deal.
Doesn't seem
Yeah.
good.
It
You
is
can't
too
figure
much.
it out.
I can't. Except I go there and I pay cash and I collect it and I test it one by one.
And it works.
And it works. But without that, I won't deal.
Thank you very much. So
Wow.
it is clear.
Wow.
It's back to what he said. The mystery of integrity, just like the scripture says, let it. I mean, if you model integrity to your children, they would have no choice than to go ahead with that trait.
Absolutely.
It goes back to his father. He says, my father was a hard guy. He said, my father will not cut corners.
It won't.
My father will not. So whatever you do, your children see it all.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't lie to them. They see you morning after. They see you when you
Absolutely.
ignore those calls.
Yeah.
They see you when you, just face your fears, attend to it, deal with it, and let God handle the rest. Just like he said that if he fails, then he just leaves it to God. And I also picked the part of worship. I mean, he had a heart of worship. He had a heart of service to serve God, to deliver quality and value. I mean, that is very, very important for where we are right now in the continent. We all know what I'm talking about. And then sometimes when you're just faced with some sort of economy breakdown or meltdown, it's hard for people to have their integrity straight. So I mean, that's another one for me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. And Titi, over and over on Parents on a Mission, we usually say, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. I heard something that seemed like a rema recently that says, the Bible did not say train up a child in the godly way. It didn't say train up a child in a bad way. It said the way he should go. The way he should go is the way the father, the mother wants the child to go. Now, look at, your dad wasn't born again, but look at the value he was able to install in you that has made you who you are today. Yeah, and I also want to remind parents, please, I want you to remember, children don't do as you say. They don't always do as you say.
Yeah,
they do as you do. Yeah, they do as you do. They follow that footstep. If you tell them don't lie and you lie, they're going to lie.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, sir, for keep emphasizing integrity, honesty. And I also picked the intrinsic motivation. We call that intrinsic motivation in school. You are motivated internally.
Yeah.
You're not motivated by what is around you. You're not motivated by what you see around. Your motivation comes from inside, which is greater than the extrinsic motivation. Thank you very much for that. I've picked that, and I'm sure that it's going to inspire I also as a mother.
Yeah.
Then I want to ask, I think this is my last question from here. I want you to please just talk to fathers out there. Just give us a tip. Let fathers get a tip from your experience. What is it? What do they need to imbibe in their children to make them grow up and be self-motivated?
From your own point
From
of
your
view.
own point of view, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, from my point of view, my family is very peculiar. I have a great family. And I'm not saying this for anything. I have a great wife. And I think that if not for
I think we
her,
should clap for her.
Yes.
She just said he has a great wife.
Yes. Thank you, Ma.
if not, and I'm not trying to be modest. If not for her, I'm not sure where the family would be. You know, so she's great. I don't feel like a father. I don't feel like a parent. I feel like a young boy. And I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand I don't understand how I can speak to fathers. Really, I don't understand.
I like the sincerity.
I don't understand how I can speak to fathers. I have relationship with my kids. I've been hearing a lot of things that people are saying now, that don't be your child's friend or don't be that. I don't understand all those things. But yeah, it might be true, might not be true. I don't know. But I love my family. I have a tendency to spoil them, but I deliberately try not to. But I'm also very tough on my kids. But I found out that it is what you do. It is what you are. They see you.
That's it.
There's nothing more.
That's it.
So you need to, my kids can't lie. I mean, listen, my kids, I have a 17-year-old turning 18 in a few months,
Wow.
and I have a 16 turning 17 in a few
Wow,
months.
wow.
I have 2 kids. I tell you today, if I put chocolate in my fridge, it's going to be there for the next 100 years. Except they call and say, Daddy, can I take chocolate? And listen, they won't say, Daddy, can I take chocolate alone and go and take it. They'll say, should I take 1 or 2?
They'll be precise.
They wouldn't.
That's accountability.
They cannot.
Yeah.
They cannot. It's not possible.
It's not in them.
They cannot take what does not belong to them. If my son says, Daddy, this is what it is, 9 out of 10 times I won't ask him if it's true or not. Because I don't expect him to lie to me. My daughter started selling stuffs online. I'm a businessman. She picked it up. She started selling things, and I'm extremely delighted.
Wow.
Because I wanted to start to make money, right? So I would say this, right? I talk to my kids about my business. When I eat a deal, I'm gonna tell them, this just happened, guys. I mean, I call it, you know that thing they just paid. They're like, yeah, wow, you know. So I tell them, right? I mean, yesterday night I sent all my account details, because I update my account details and my password. I update back and I send it to my wife. This is how much this account. This guy owes me. This guy owes me. Because my wife is fantastic.
Transparency.
She can't even spend. She can't even touch it, but let her know. That's what This is how much I'm owing. Some of this is on the sea. She needs to know.
Yeah.
Because, like I said to her, everything I have is ours. Everything to the last penny.
Amazing.
Not for my son, not for my daughter, it's for my wife. Nothing, every single penny. And I open up to my kids. Like I tell them about my business. They know what I do. In fact, I'm trying to get my son to do some things with me. Not because I want him to inherit my business. No, it's just a process. I need him to understand how money is made. How, the kind of work and effort you put into life, to be able to get some out of it. So for me, it's experiential. It's so my kids know me. My daughter said to me recently, said that if I make $1 billion, I'm not going to give you money. And I said, why? He said, Daddy, if you buy a shoe, you're going to wear that shoe until it spoils. Because you're not going to buy another one, right? And that's me. She said, if you find a restaurant, you're going to keep eating there. you're not going to change it. Yes. He says you buy a car, you know, you sell it and buy another one, you sell it and buy another one, you know. So you really don't need money, right? That's the truth. He says the things I know you do, you either sleep in a hotel or you are, she said 3 things. You sleep in a hotel, you buy a new car, or just you know, and that is just what I am, because I move around a lot. You know, and I'm always calling them, where are you now? Okay, I'm in this hotel. I don't like it, you know, and that's what they see. And I try my best to do, but I'm gonna also put this out there, parents. Wives and husbands, please, you need to be too close. There's some things that your kids should never see. You know, my mom was telling me a few things about my dad. My parents are both 80. My dad is 85, mom is 83. And I was telling me a few things about my dad recently, and he never would know that I went through that.
Wow.
You never would know. You never would know. You know, and my wife, gosh, my wife is just like that. You know, you need to shield yourselves. You really need to shield yourselves, even when things are hard. You need to shield yourselves. You know, I sent a video. So there's this video that I saw about one husband trying to. So the wife came in, you know, got angry with the child, and then the other two got angry with each other. When the wife left, the husband was not telling each other, "You better be careful, because me, I will not support you." So I sent to my son, you know, and she said, "Oh, you and mom are cool. You're not like that." So it's like, wow. You know, I said, "I don't have to. There's no. I'm not giving anything for this video, Dad, because you and mom are cool.
You're not like that.
You're not like that, you know." But really, the truth is that there are times that things are tough. You know, listen, I tell my kids when things are tough. They know when I'm broke. They know when I'm like crazy broke. You know, I remember my kids, my daughter, "Daddy, my birthday is coming." I said, "No birthday, Daddy is broke." And there's no tantrum. She goes, "All right, Daddy," and she goes to play.
She understands.
There's no money, that is broke. There's no, that is all. Go sitting here, you know, and she goes, and it's gone. You know, but then I came back home and I did it. But I said, "Daddy, but you're broke." I said, Daddy has money.
Yeah, God has provided.
You know, so I think that it is really a good thing. Like I said, I can't say this is what to do or this is not what to do, but this is what I've done.
Yeah.
I try my best to be very open to my kids. My son is 18 in August, and we relate. You know, we talk. We recently, they came because they don't live. They came for Christmas in Lagos, and I wanted to go for a show, and I wanted him to look in a particular way. So I said, "Let's go and buy clothes." So I got there and he said, "I don't like this." She was wasting my time. I said, "Okay, I like it, and I'm paying for it, and you must wear it."
Daddy has spoken.
And that's it.
Daddy has spoken.
And she wore it. She took the clothes to where they are, and his mom said she had not worn it since. Okay, we wear the same shirt. Should I take it? Now we bust my own. But I will always. So I mean, I'm saying that relationship is key. You need to have a relationship with your kids. I tell my daughter, I said, "You need to be able to tell me everything. A guy tells you he likes you, I'm going to be the first person to know. You kiss the guy, tell him. You need to be able to let me know. And I want me to be able to trust you. And be able to know what you're doing. So if they say this is it, they say, I mean, you trust me. You know that your dad will come for you anywhere. They know that there is problem in school. They even they are afraid to tell me when there's problem in school, because they know the next day I'm going to be in school. Anyway, if anything happens today, I'm going to fly there. I'm going to be there. They know that, right? So sometimes when they don't want trouble, they don't tell me. They shield me, you know. And so I want to be able to say the same thing for you. So we have a relationship, and I mean, that's for me.
Thank you.
Keep it open.
Yes, sir.
Always keep it open with them. You know, tell them about your businesses. Tell them about what you do. Tell them when things are tough, so that you don't see you as a Superman always.
Yeah.
You know, tell them I mean, there are times that I would break down and my son will be like, Daddy, it's fine, and they will encourage me because I don't want to give them a false impression about myself, you know, so yeah. I don't know.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a loaded one. But what stood out for me is the balance that you create in your parenting journey. There's a balance that I sense. You know, you're firm, you're down to earth with them. They are your friends, but you're firm. You know, you let them know that this is what is right. This is what I want you to do because I want the best for you. You understand? So that balance is very, very important in our parenting journey. Let's not be too carried away with the friendship, and let's not be too carried away, you know, doing the spoiling and the pampering.
I would like to say this.
Yes,
I think it depends on what age the kids are.
Yeah.
I don't see a reason why you can't be friends with an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Or a 17-year-old.
And the friendship actually starts from, if you are not their friend from child, from when they are babies, it will be hard to form friendship.
You can be, because at 18 they're pretty much formed.
Yeah.
At 17 they're pretty much formed. You know, if your child, if you've not been able to create that respect, that fear in him, or that mentality that needs to be respected.
Yeah.
When I can never forget beating my daughter at 1. I really decked her at 1 year old.
Like decking.
Yes, that
Wow.
everybody was almost going to cry.
Oh no.
What happened is my daughter would always throw tantrums. She wants me, don't give, I start being on the floor.
Baby girls for you.
That thing is irritating to me. I mean, from where to where, what kind of rubbish tantrum is this? And she does that one. I picked her up, like I decked her. She never did it again. Up to today, she never ever did that thing again. If you say this is what it is, it's what it is. I decked her.
So it was a one-off.
One-off beating. I rearranged that. You know, so all this. So if you cannot rearrange them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you want to rearrange them at 18, it's too late. That remit is too late. Do you understand? It is freaking too late. So at 1, give them some serious spanking. They will begin to understand that this is not right. Because sometimes they test you too.
Yes.
Those kids are so smart. They are smart as kids.
They're observing their emotions.
Yeah, I decked the girl. I decked her. like the decking was everybody. Our grandma was there. My wife was there. They felt well. They kept quiet. This is my daughter. So grandma, shush.
Let me be.
Wife, shush.
Allow
My daughter.
me.
But they're funny decking here. I mean, I've decked. I remember when we were in the US. I decked my son.
You didn't call 911.
Who for who? She's coming to Lagos. We're entering the next flight to Lagos straight away. I decked him that I felt bad. But I didn't tell him sorry. But now, sometimes I get angry with them, I tell them sorry. You see, if you tell my own opinion, if you tell a child sorry when you corrected him, that means you are nullifying the correction.
Yeah.
My own opinion. So I left that victim. It sank well and I left it alone. It was tough. It was tough. It was almost an abuse. Really. And I felt bad. But I tried my best not to say sorry. Because I didn't want to nullify it. Because you won't know. Yes, I don't want to nullify. But after that, I learned to they're great kids. I mean, apart from a few instances where I had to correct them physically, my son is thousands of miles away. All I need to tell him is on a phone, or all his mom used to do is, I will tell your dad. That's all. That is all. They will arrange. Don't let me tell you that. They will arrange. They will. You know, my son cuts the grass. I want that grass cut by Saturday. He must cut it. What is it? He won't cut grass. He must cut the grass. Do you understand? Because if I'm home, I will cut the grass. We'll cut the grass together. When he starts, I'm still going on. And they're like, I said, I used to go to the farm, so I'm strong. So I'm cutting the grass. So when I'm around, I'm not around. You cut the grass. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to be able to do that. And this is my family. I think I'm blessed. I think I'm lucky. I'm blessed with those kids. Yeah,
yes.
they're good kids. And my wife is God given. me, God is helping me.
Hallelujah.
But I think that the family is blessed, is balanced, and it's not something that you can do on your own.
Yeah.
Wives are, I mean, women are great people. They're strong. I think that guys need to understand that. I mean, I got married and I didn't. And we influence ourselves, right? The wife, if you're attentive to your wife, she's going to teach some new values.
True.
If you attend to your husband, he's going to teach you new values.
True.
In fact, as you go on in that journey, you realize that the values that you never used to hold on to, that your wife used to have, that your wife had, you're going to take it on, and your wife unknowingly will take on your values.
True.
So over time, you become your wife, your wife becomes you.
Yes.
Because when we got married, before we got married, it was hard to keep birthdays and dates and all those things. So my wife is very offended if I forgot the values and stuff. Now I remember. Now she doesn't remember.
Wow. What an exchange of values.
So now she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She doesn't care if you say happy birthday or not. She would appreciate it.
Take it personal.
She doesn't anymore. She's grown, or I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that's the way it should be, but we're very fine with it.
Yes.
You know, she understands that Gbenga is not forgetting her birthday because he doesn't care. She's like, Gbenga, just silly. You know, but it's, you know, but now I remember, and I try to do it and make her happy. But she's not going to kill me if I don't forget.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you. And that brings us to the end. I mean, we've had the advice already. I was going to say, what advice do you have for mothers and all? We've had his advice from his own point of view and how he's doing. I want to say that mommies and daddies, please have close hands.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard him say that and it sank. You know, he said that he should have closed ends. There are some things that his parents were like 85 and 83 now,
Wow.
just telling him, and he's like, wow, did you guys actually go through that? So it's not everything, you know, sometimes these things even affects the children's emotions, you know.
True.
It gives them this emotional imbalance.
True.
And you know, at school, work, I mean, it forms who they are. So let's be careful to help out in that area. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
The
Thank
pleasure
you
is
for
mine.
coming
Thank you very much.
on this episode of Parents on a Mission, and thank you our viewers. Thank you for always liking and sharing. Thank you for subscribing. We pray that the Almighty God would go with you, hold you by your right hand on this parenting journey, and you will not get it wrong, and our children will turn out well in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Do have an amazing time.
Thank you. Bye.